Well, welcome to our UNLV online education webinar called Innovative Ideas for Online Courses. My name is Alice Swift, and I'll be your moderator for today, also doing the introduction as well as questions at the end. I'm an instructional designer here with Online Education, and my colleague, Kody Stimpson, also is an instructional designer, and he will be our presenter for today. So without further ado, Kody, take it away.
All right, thanks a lot, Alice, and thank you so much, everyone, for coming this morning. I realize everybody's pretty busy, and during this webinar, we're going to fly through quite a bit of content. But the good news is, you may have noticed yesterday around 3:30, everybody that signed up for this webinar was enrolled as a student in a Blackboard Learn course called OE Course Development Demo. So all of these materials that we're going to go through today, you can check it out on your own. We're going to go through each of these folders to give you an idea what's in here, and then later you can find resources and information to help you along the way. So know that if you have questions and things, we will have time at the end for some questions. However, no doubt you're going to have a lot of questions that we simply won't have time for this webinar. So know that 1, you can check out this course afterwards, and 2, you're welcome to contact your instructional designer, or you can email me directly if it's particular to one of these tools. But we're happy to work with you and answer any questions you have throughout. So throughout this webinar, we're going to cover 5 topics, and these are 5 learning modules that are inside the OE course demo. The OE course demo was designed for a couple reasons. 1, to give faculty an example course that shows some of the best practices that we're trying to integrate in our courses. With Quality Matters, National Standards of Quality Online Courses, we're really trying to develop courses that are effective and engaging for students. And so we tried to develop a course that shows best practices in that area, in hopes to perhaps give faculty more ideas, and then also to let everybody know what are some of the options regarding content and regarding using this new Blackboard Learn system, what all the options are. So we're going to talk about content presentation, videos, surveys, RSS, timelines, learning objects, the custom services that we have here in the Office of Online Education. We'll also briefly mention some of the collaboration tools that are available in Blackboard Learn, such as blogs, wikis, discussions, and groups. We'll mention Blackboard Collaborate, Google Apps, Twitter, and Facebook for those interested in using social networking. Then we'll go into assessments, such as the test tool, the assignment tool, and test pools and peer reviews in Blackboard Learn. I'll mention the Blackboard Learn tutorials and resources that we have available here at UNLV, and then a few of online resources that you may choose to use to be able to locate content for your courses. So as you can tell, this is a lot of information, but this really is just a glimpse of what's there, and then you can hop in and jump into what you're interested in. So the first thing I'll show you is the navigation on the left side, and this course is designed to be as if you were a student in a real course. So it aligns with our master course that we have with different navigation. So first, when you log in, you'll see Let's Get Started on the left. Excuse me, let me see if I can unplug my phone because it's ringing. This is an example of a Let's Get Started page. You can see there's a little banner along the top. We have an instructor as well as a welcome paragraph. And then we have Let's Get Started. And below that, you'll notice that there are the links how this course works, which is a little video that walks students through the navigation of the course. A faculty introduction to let them know a little bit more information about their instructor, demo course syllabus, as well as a course schedule. And by the way, if you're wondering who this friendly face is, this is Dr. Cliff McLean, who gave me permission to use his image. He put it in there, and I thought he looked so friendly, we wanted to use it in our demo, so that's where that came from. So there's a Let's Get Started page to help students get started. Next, there's the announcements page. And here I've embedded a Voki video, and we're going to discuss these later on. But not surprisingly, we have an announcements page in there. The learning modules, most of you are familiar with. There's images and then brief descriptions for each of the, the different learning modules. Next, going inside the actual learning module, once you click on that, you'll see that in the middle here there's a gray box. It's a table of contents where each of the items are listed. And this main window is called the lesson plan in Blackboard. But this is the learning guide. It's the first thing that students see when they go inside of a module. You can see the learning guide has a description, the learning objectives, the learning activities that tells the students to review these items or watch these videos, complete, and then there's an estimated time for completion that lets students know how much time is expected for them to complete that module. And in this case, it's just 4 hours. So each of these modules, as you go in there, you're going to see a similar learning guide and then all of the items listed. And in this case, they're called sample dash and then whatever the title is. So you can click through those as a student. Once you click on one of these items, I've clicked on this example, sample interactive timeline, you're going to see that there are 3 items that are listed at the top. There's a definition of what this item is, there's an explanation of when to use it, and then how to use it with links to resources and websites. And know that this is a work in progress. So if you give us feedback and say, you know what, I need more information on how to do this, then we're going to be adding to all of these. But for each of the items and each of the examples, you're going to see these 3 things: definition, when to use, and how to use. So the next item, not surprisingly, is discussions. All the discussions are listed. We have course messages here, a link directly to the course messages, which is the internal email structure that's inside Web Campus Learn. Tools, which many of you may have this called communication in your current courses. We recently changed it to tools because we felt like that was a better title for it. It's what Blackboard calls it, tools. So it lists all of the tools, the communication tools like journals, blogs, announcements, but also some of the other tools that aren't focused on communication, but they are still listed. Next is My Grades. When students click on the My Grades, they see these 4 different areas: their current grade, the graded assignments, and you see I did terrible on the Module 3 test. I got 1.5 out of 10. Then there's submitted assignments that I've submitted, and then upcoming assignments. And then we have some additional resources in here, and they're all focused on online course development through UNLV. So we have a variety of these resources that can help you as you begin to develop new online or hybrid courses. And then the last page is student support that lets students know all of the different resources that are available. So this course aligns really well with our master course. And so what we're going to do is we're going to jump in here. We're back at the Learning Modules page, and I'm going to do a screen share, and we're going to go inside the Module 1 content presentation. So if you'll bear with me one moment, I'm going to start sharing. And can you give me a smiley face or a hands up if you are able to see my window that says Module 1 Learning Guide? Great, great. Everybody sees that. Good. Okay, so with that, we'll go ahead and proceed. So I'm inside the course now, and I've clicked Module 1. We are here. You see this learning module guide that I've already gone over, and we're going to go ahead and jump through these items here. Okay, the first one is create item. Now in Blackboard, you can create an item, and an item is similar to like an HTML page or a Dreamweaver page, or almost like even using Word, a Word document. You can insert tables, images, text. You can type in here whatever you want using the item in Blackboard. And to do that, it lists up here. You just go to Build Content, Create Item, and then you're able to add images and text and everything like that. So most of these objects that I'm going to go through here are all embedded using the Create Item feature in Blackboard. You create the item, and then you can embed a variety of different things or link to them, and that's what the rest of these items are. This first one here is embedding YouTube video. Notice again that there's the definition, when to use and how to use listed up here. And here I have a webinar video on best practices for teaching online that's embedded inside the video, inside Blackboard Learn. You can also link to the video, which I've done. You can have poll questions. Poll questions, I'm going to click on this to show you the survey. This, which type of content do you think would be important to have in an online course? You can check whatever options you choose, submit, and then it's going to show the results. UNLV faculty have access to a tool called Qualtrics, and it's available for you to use. There's also other tools, SurveyMonkey, Poll Everywhere if you're interested in mobile polls. SurveyMonkey is another one, but there's several different options for having poll questions, and it's a great way to get students excited about the content, to get their personal opinion on a particular topic that you're teaching. The next one I have here is a survey, which is similar to that. You may ask questions related to the content and then share the results with students. This one, the students are rating how comfortable they feel about, or I guess this is faculty, but how comfortable they feel developing an online course. And then there's multiple choice questions. There's rankings here that you can drag around. There's a lot of different options. And a lot of faculty are starting to put surveys in each module that ask the students, what did you like about this module? What did you struggle with? What could be better in there? And then they can take that information and modify their course later on. So surveys and polls are great for that reason. This next one is a timeline, and it's from a Web 2.0 tool called timetoast.com. This is a simple tool to use. You sign up, it's free, and you can create an embeddable timeline. In this case, it's internet history. And so as I hover, I'm not sure how this is actually going to show from your view, recording my screen, but hopefully you'll see as I move the mouse, different items pop up, and I can learn more about it. So if you have a history course, or you just want students to understand, what's going on through time, they can you can use this tool, or you can make it part of an assignment for students to use. The one thing I will say about TimeToast is that currently it's publishing to Flash, so if students are using mobile devices, they may not see it. So that's something to keep in mind. But timelines can be really exciting ways to show content. Next is linking to or embedding live RSS feed. Here I have an RSS feed, which is focused on the highest rated materials from this particular library called Merlot, and it's focused on teacher education. So this page is updated all the time. And as it's updated, my link is going to provide that information. And RSS feeds are very handy because you can pull in news feeds from news sources or websites or particular organizations that relate to your content area. And students are always seeing, what's really up to date and relevant. It goes well beyond just having a static textbook with the content in there when they can pull in all of these resources. So you can link to a live RSS feed. If you're thinking beyond PowerPoint slides, Prezi is another tool that you can use. It's a free tool to use. In this example, this is one that I've embedded here. You can embed it right into Blackboard. And when I click play on here, it's going to take a second to load. But the difference between this is it zooms in to the content you can see, and I'm not sure how well, again, this is showing for you, but if it's not appearing that well, then you can check it out later. But you can create objects and zoom into them and really present organizational comparisons well using this tool. And instead of going from slide to slide, students are able to move around in there. They can zoom into particular areas that they're interested in, and it's kind of an interesting way to present the content. So Prezi is one tool. Another option that a lot of faculty like to use are avatars. And an avatar is a talking virtual person that may introduce students to your course. You can create these Wikis, which is this first one here, and I'm not sure if you can hear that, but he welcomes everybody to the course development demo course. But you can sign up for a free account at the site, and then you can embed this Wiki in, it can be a module introduction, or a lot of faculty like to post weekly announcements to students, and it gives them information there. So Wikis are interesting. There's also this other version, if you are into mobile devices, there's Telegami. And Telegami makes it really easy for you to use your iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch to create an app. It's very simple to use, and you can create this cartoon-like avatar going through the content. And a lot of these tools you can think about, you know, what you could possibly use for your courses as an instructor, but you can also think about from the student perspective, if they had these tools to use for submitting presentations or projects and different things. It's kind of an exciting way for them to submit their work. Go Animate at the bottom here, this little creature, is an interesting tool that is also available that allows you to create cartoon-like images easily and quickly. You choose a background, you choose a character, you type in your text, and you can, it will speak whatever it is that you type. It's kind of a fun tool, and there's links here for you to check out more about that. But these virtual avatars have been researched, and like every tool, it depends on how you use it as to the quality of effectiveness. This link at the top that says here's a link to some resources listing research. There has been research on using some of these tools effectively in courses to help engage students. You can click on that to find out more information. The next example I have are mobile educational apps. I'm sure everybody here has downloaded several apps and found some interesting apps that relate to our particular content areas, but a lot of times we don't think about adding them to our online courses. Something you'll want to keep in mind, I have links here to the 3 main stores, the iOS store, Android, and BlackBerry Market. But the thing you'll want to keep in mind is that students may not have access to mobile devices, so you don't want to put a mobile app in their course and require them to have it if they don't even have a mobile device. However, it's a great additional resource that you can put in there. So if you're covering a topic and you're like, you know what, I found this educational app that works great, why not put it as an additional option for students to use? The next thing we're going to talk about are some of the online education custom solutions that we can do for online courses. And if you have an app that you really like, you can share that with our custom development team, and they can take that and develop something that will be accessible to all students. So those that have access to mobile devices can still use that app, and then our custom development team can develop an option for those that may not have access. But they're great tools. And on the right here, you see this frog that's being dissected, and these are just simple examples, but there's lots of things that mobile learning is making available to students to help them learn, so it's good to leverage those. From Blackboard, you can insert, obviously images about the link, and you can send them directly to links to the iOS or other Android stores for them to download the apps. And then the next one here at the end is probably one of the most important ones for faculty to know about, and those are some of the custom solutions that we offer here at UNLV in the Office of Online Education. First, we have instructional artists that are extremely talented professionals that can develop banners, images, and icons. But beyond that, they can develop instructional graphics and images, visualizations, charts, and other items that can help really make your content be engaging for students. We know most students are visual learners, and using imagery to help them learn is going to go a long way. We also have instructional programmers. If you're thinking about interactive learning objects, custom programs, databases, flashcards, and you can see on the top right there's a brain there that students hover over and they learn information. Really making the content interactive for students is going to increase their engagement level, but it also helps them remember the content. So these are fantastic for preparing for exams and assessments and really just learning the material. So leveraging our instructional programmers is a great option. We also have an instructional videographer. And with the variety of different videos, you can go to our studio and work with James in developing instructional videos. You can have guest lectures. If you meet with him, he can set up times to record guest lectures and guest videos on there. You can see on the bottom left, I have this little course introduction video that I've made using Camtasia. That's an option. There are process videos on the bottom right. You see a doctor working with a patient. There's a variety of different things that you can do with video, and video is one tool that we can use here at UNLV, leveraging our team. So there's so many different options we have in our office, so it's good to keep those in mind as we're thinking about different content presentation. So now I have a question for you. I have this poll question here, and I'd like you to use the, next to the smiley face, 2 over next to the hand, you'll see a little A, the drop down. I'd like you to answer this question for me, and Alice is going to publish the results for us. Which content presentation item are you most interested in learning more about? We're going to have 2 questions here. So select A for YouTube videos, B, poll questions and surveys, C, interactive timeline, and D, RSS feeds. So I'll give you about 5 or 10 more seconds. And the reason I'm asking these questions is because we want to come back here and make this content even better for you. So if we see that things are more interesting, then that's what we'll do. Okay, so the results. Polling. All right, I clicked published. And it looks like from this view, I'm not sure if you can see the published results or not. It looks like the published results are in the whiteboard, Kody. Oh, okay. So they're probably not going to see it because I'm using the streaming. Okay. So it looks like we'll, using the chat participant window, it looks like we have about split between A and D, YouTube videos and interactive timelines. Okay, great. So Alice, if you'd like to clear that, I'd like to ask another question. The same question, but relating to Prezi's Talking Avatars, mobile educational apps, and OE custom solutions. Go ahead and select from the options there as well. And we'll have to just use the participant window to see the results since I'm using a screen share. But the good thing with this is later on we can go back in here and pull this up and know what our audience is interested in doing. So in this case, it looks like we have 4 for Talking Avatars, a mobile educational app, and some Prezi. Okay, so hopefully that helps give us an idea of where we may need more clarification and tutorials and information to help you along. So great, thank you for doing that. We will now proceed to the second module, and this module is focused on collaboration and social networking. Again, you'll see the learning guide is the first thing you see. We'll go ahead and discuss blogs. And a blog, there we go. A blog is a great tool for students to be able to reflect upon the topic that has been covered, and then using online resources, post their opinions and their reflections and their thoughts about a particular topic. They can find images and include them, and then they read the other students' posts. I have a sample blog down here at the bottom. What innovative things are going on in the world of online learning? So students use any online resource, they find an article, and then they write a paragraph reflecting upon it and including links and an image, and then they post that to the blog for everybody else. So blogs are great ways for students to post their reflections and their thoughts and have other students comment. Different from a blog is a wiki. And a wiki is similar to like a Google Doc, or maybe you've been to Wikipedia, but it's a web page or website that allows collaborative editing and revision among students. So in this example at the bottom, I have a wiki that's tips for online teaching and learning. What tips do you have for other instructors developing an online course? And if this were a real wiki, you would click on it, and then you would edit and add your tips in there, and then someone else would edit it. They'd see your tips, but they would also be able to edit your tips and add additional clarification. So if you're having students collaborate on a project where they're submitting one final project, then this is a great way for them to see what everybody else has done and add to it. And just as a side note, from the faculty perspective, when you're grading these, you can see what contributions each student has made. So that's Wiki. There's also, of course, Blackboard Collaborate, which we're using now. You can have guest speakers from around the world come and present to your students. Even if they can't attend at the same time, you can do an archive like we're doing here. There's a lot of different group presentations and student presentations that are going on using this tool. It's a wonderful tool to help students have that synchronous activity in their courses. Blackboard Learn also has the Groups tool. The Groups tool allows instructors to make specific discussions or blogs or assignments available to just groups of students for collaborative work. And that means that if you have a class with 50 different students in it, you may not want them all, for example, answering questions on one single discussion. You might want to have smaller groups discussing the topic in smaller discussions. So the Groups tool allows for that. And there's links here to find out more about groups. Of course, we have a discussion board. And discussions are great ways for students to discuss topics again and share opinions. However, a discussion varies from blogs and wikis because it's more about a fluid conversation going back and forth where they're, chatting. If you think of chat rooms and asking questions and answering and really going back and discussing particular topics. The next sample I have here is Google Apps. Every UNLV student has access to Rebel Mail accounts, and UNLV faculty can have access to these as well. With that, they have the ability to create Google Docs, which are like, it's like Word but online, but then you can share it with other students so that they have access to it and they can edit it as well, all on one single object. You can do slides, which is like PowerPoint but online. Sheets is like Excel. Sites is creating websites if you want your students to create a website. These are great for students to create presentations, but also for something for you to keep in mind for assignments and projects, and also the content that you present. Facebook. Using social networking tools like Facebook is a great way to get at students where they're already at. Here in Learn, you can see I've embedded this Facebook page. When you're in Facebook, I'm not going to go into all the details of how to set it up, but you can create a page on Facebook. And in this case, I created one called Higher Education Online Learning. You're welcome to find it on your Facebook if you're interested in like it. But you can create a page, ask your students to like it. Then once they like it, as you post updates, those updates will appear on the student's feed. And then they can comment and like it or whatever you choose. Another option is to create a group in Facebook. Your group can be public or it can be private. If it's a private group, then only those students and those participants in there can see the posts and see the comments and see who's in there. So it's really flexible. And you can create a group and have students go on. One faculty member I met with yesterday, he created a Facebook page a few years ago, and now he has hundreds of students, previous students, current students that have liked his page, and he's able to continue interacting with them, and they're able to continue learning even outside of his course. So that's kind of exciting. There's also, Alice just sent me a reminder. Thanks, Alice. We also have Twitter feeds. Twitter feeds, you can embed a particular, what are those called, hashtag, and embed it in your course so students are always seeing what's being discussed by the professionals in the area. In this case, I have online learning hashtagged. You can click through those and read that. And then using Twitter, it's very easy to create this little box to put in your courses so students are always able to see what's going on. And it doesn't need to be a hashtag. You can actually have a Twitter feed that's specific for instructors or for a professional or anybody or an organization or whatever it may be. So Twitter's kind of exciting that way. So with that, let's come back here to the poll question. Which collaboration tool are you most interested in learning more about? A, blog, B, wiki, C, Blackboard Collaborate, D, discussion board, or E, groups tool. Go ahead and select your options. Or your preference, I should say, for your options. Okay, this is great. I'm seeing a variety in here. It looks like 3 for Blackboard Collaborate, so we can offer more additional training on that. We've got a groups tool, several for more about blogs. Okay, great. Thank you so much. And I think we've got another question here. If we can have Alice clear those. We will ask again, which collaboration tool are you most interested in learning more about? A, Google Apps, Docs, spreadsheets, etc. B, Facebook page, creating a page. C, Facebook groups. Or D, Twitter feeds. And I'm sorry you have to pick one because a lot of you may be interested in more than one, but at least this gives us an idea of what you're really excited about. Okay, it looks like we've got quite a bit excited about the Google Apps, Docs, and spreadsheets, and also the Twitter feeds. So great. Thank you so much for providing that feedback. That's so helpful. All right, and as I mentioned, we are flying through a lot of content. So we're going to continue to Module 3, which is focused on assignments, tests, and test tools, and peer reviews. So the first one we're going to see is an assignment. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this because I feel like most of you probably are well familiar with the assignment tool in Blackboard. But did you know that you could embed a video and you can embed images in the assignment itself? So in this case, this is called the flying a plane, oops, misspelled, flying a plane assignment that asks the students to watch this video and then type the answers in the box below. So that's all an assignment is. There's 10 points possible in this case. So there's the assignment tool. We're trying to think of innovative ways to use this tool. So as you use this and come up with great ideas, please share it with us, and we will add to the when to use and how to use areas of this particular course. Next, we have the test. Now the test is the assessment tool, and again, you're probably like, oh yes, I'm familiar with the test tool. But Blackboard Learn, again, allows for embedding of videos and images in the test question. So here we have multiple choice test question. Question 2 is order the following quality matters areas in the correct order. And so here they can order it in whatever order they choose. Of course, there's true, false, and fill in the blank. But have you seen this question 5? These are called hotspots in Blackboard Learn. A hotspot asks this question, once you enter the course, where is the first place you should go in order to locate the syllabus? Well, it's the Let's Get Started page. And I've actually come here earlier, so I'm going to click clear. But students click whatever part of the image. In this case, it's Let's Get Started. And then they click, save and submit. But think of all the ways that we can leverage instructional artists and graphics and images to be able to ask questions about where do they go from here, or which area of the skull is this, or whatever. There's lots of different things you can do using these new options in assessments for Learn. So that covers the assignments, tests, and test pools and peer reviews. So again, we're going to come back here to my poll questions. Which assessment tool are you most interested in and would like more information on? A, the assignment, B, the test tool, or C, peer assessment? And I'm realizing here I haven't talked about peer assessment, so you're probably curious about that one. So let me tell you a little bit about peer assessment. And I don't have an example of one to show you, but I'll just tell you a little bit about it. A lot of times instructors use peer assessments when they want students to grade each other. If you do that, I'd recommend using the rubric tool in Blackboard, where students can see exactly what the requirements are for getting, the full 10 points or whatever for their grade, and then they can assess each other's work. So that's the peer assessment tool, and it's an option in Blackboard Learn as well. So sorry about that. So with that, it looks like the grades are in, and a lot of you chose C probably because I hadn't mentioned it. But yes, peer assessment is a nice option in Blackboard Learn, and I also see that we have somebody interested also in the tests. So we'll add some more information to our peer assessments. There are tutorials there now, but we'll keep that in mind for future editions. All right, we've got 20 minutes left and 2 modules to go, so I think we're on a roll. We're now entering Module 4, which is all about Blackboard Learn tutorials. Here, you'll find a webinar that we gave earlier that was the basics of Blackboard Learn that really goes into how do you use the test tool and how do you use the announcements and the assessments and the grade center and all those different things. So this is really a great place to go just to learn the basics of Blackboard Learn. There's also a link to this web page that has different tutorials, including navigating Blackboard Learn, compare Blackboard Vista to Blackboard Learn, using the content collection, setting up a course section for your course, building content items, managing assessments, and then collaborative activities like discussions, blogs, and wikis, a whole bunch of different tutorials here. Managing the grade center, creating an announcement, managing groups, and the calendar tool. So if you have questions, we tried to design this so that it all reflects some of the most common questions that faculty have when they're learning Blackboard Learn. So that's available. The Office of Information Technology has also created these tip sheets for instructors and students on using Web Campus Learn, and some quick start guides that are available here as well. So there are a variety of different resources available in addition to what we have here, but we've got a module on it. So that's Module 4. Now the last module is on online resources for course content. Now in the first beginnings of online education, there were courses that faculty would say, read chapter 7 in the textbook, and that would be all the content placed in an online course. Well now, as you can see, there's so many different ways that you can leverage all these different resources and tools. No course needs to be set up that way anymore. And here we've listed a few of the most popular resources that faculty can use for content. So this first one is video streaming sites, and we mentioned YouTube, but there's also TED, which has, it says riveting talks by remarkable people, free to the world. You can embed these videos, and they're very interesting and very innovative and relevant to the different content areas. You can embed it right in Blackboard Learn. So using those resources can add a lot to your course. There are news and current events websites. Pretty much any class that is being taught, there's things going on with that in the news. So why not have links to news articles embedded directly into the course? And there's links to these top 15 most popular websites. There's ERIC, which stands for Education Resources Information Center. And ERIC is a wonderful place that it's a database of journals and non-journal education literature for students to find content, but also for faculty that want students to read really well-vetted and high-quality content in a variety of different resources, or in a variety of different content areas. Next is Merlot. Merlot is a multimedia educational resource for learning and online teaching. It's a repository of content where faculty share the content they've created. It may be an assessment, it may be a collection or a case study, an animation or a quiz, and then they share it with others. The nice thing about this is that it is peer-reviewed, so each item in there, you can see that there's a star rating system and comments about the particular object, so that you can just filter and make sure that you're getting content that is highly rated and has been vetted. So that's one option. Another one that's a little bit similar to that is OER Commons, which is it's a network that shares free open educational resources so that you can put these in your courses. Again, they have a rating system for people to rate the most, the best quality content to put in the course. Now this site, World Digital Library, got the instructor I met with yesterday pretty excited. This is a site that makes available primary materials from countries and cultures around the world, particularly if you're teaching art or history or culture or anything else that you want primary materials from around the world. This is where you can come. And I realize the image is really small, this snapshot, but when you go to the site, there's a timeline at the bottom. So you can click on those different areas of the country and you'll see all the different resources and materials that are available, and then drag the timeline so that it only shows the materials that are relevant to a particular time period. So World Digital Library is very easy to link into your Blackboard course. Hippocampus is another tool. It's hippocampus.org. And there's a collection of high-quality e-learning interactive learning objects for math, science, and humanities. Some of the content is for K-12, but other content is at the college level. So you can check that out if any of those are your areas of expertise. And then we, of course, have a link to the UNLV resources page, which is this student support page. We have a library that has offices and resources that are available. The Office of Online Education, Web Campus, the Writing Center. There's a lot of different resources here. And then we've also linked to the Copyright and Fair Use page from the Office of Information Technology. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out. So let me ask you this final question, if I can get it to come up. Doesn't look like I can get that last one to come up for some reason. But my question I have for you is, of these resources, I guess I'm just going to go back to this page here, where you see video streaming, news and current events, ERIC Library, Merlot, OER Commons, World Digital Library, Hippocampus, UNLV resources, or copyright. I'd like you to, instead of using the poll feature, we can go ahead and clear that. Just type in the text box which of those sounds interesting to you. And there may be more than one. So we've got one from Merlot. There's so many different resources, and as you come upon great resources to use, it'd be great to share them with us, because this is just the beginning, and really this whole course is a work in progress. So video streaming, World Digital Library, great. Great. Well, I'm glad to see that some of these are of interest to you. And so with that, we've thrown a whole lot of content at you, and so now later on your own time, you can log into this course and check it out, and please feel free to contact us with any recommendations or any thoughts and opinions on any of this. And with that, let's go ahead and end the screen share. We're going to come back here and we will take some questions. So if you have some questions, let's go ahead and there we go. Thank you, Alice. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to type your question in the chat box, or raise your hand and we'll give you audio options. So we'll just give a minute to see if anybody has any questions.
Hi, Kody. Can I just mention, too, that in the chat window, if you scroll up a little bit, I did provide a couple resources for you all. A link to our webinar archives. Some of you said that you wanted a little bit more information on, say, Blackboard Collaborate or the use of Blackboard tools such as blogs, wikis, and discussions. So we have a couple archived webinars on there as well. And if you just go to our online.unlv.edu website, you'll also be able to go to our resources tab, where you will also be able to find a lot of the resources available to you as faculty.
Thank you, Alice. That's great. So with that, if there are no more questions, I'll go ahead and pass it over to you, Alice, and thank you all so much for
Kody, it actually
coming
looks
today.
like Gail has one question. She asks, does the embedded videos work in the class that you developed?
Oh, thank you for pointing that out, Alice. Yes, Gail, it does work. And the key, in the little tutorial in the course, it specifies this, but the key is when you're embedding YouTube videos where the link and you're in HTML view, it'll say http://. In that area, you have to add an S, so it's HTTPS, because Blackboard only shows content that is secure. So Blackboard, when you grab that embed code and you put it in your course, the embed code comes without the S in front of the HTTP, and so Blackboard doesn't show it. But once you type in that S there, then Blackboard considers it secure, and it will then appear. Yep. And if you have more questions on that or run into problems, just contact, any of us in the Office of Online Ed, and we'll help with that. Any other questions?
Actually, Kody, there's one other question that I found. Jen Kenway is asking, can the calendar tool be added to the menu?
Oh, that's a great question. Yes, it can. Any of the options or any of the tools that you want to add can be added. You use the little, when you're in edit mode, you use the little plus icon at the top left and add tool, and then find the calendar from that option, and then it will put a link to the calendar. And if you want later, Janessa, I can walk you through that, or throw it in your course and let you know how to do that. But it's pretty easy to do. But that's a good idea.
Yeah, and again, in terms of contacting your instructional designer, if you have any questions or you would like to get some help customizing your course, you can feel free to contact your instructional designer. If you're not familiar with who that is, if you go to our online education website, you'll be able to find that under, I think, faculty tab. If not, just contact any one of us and we can help point you in the right direction. It doesn't look like there are any other questions, however, so I'm just going to move to our final couple slides. Like I said, you do have the ability to answer a questionnaire survey for us so that you can give us feedback on this webinar. The link I just inserted it into the chat window, so you can actually go ahead and click that link and it'll take you directly to the survey, and it is also shown up above if you want to go ahead and copy that. Again, if you have any questions, you can contact Kody or myself, and we'll be able to help you with your questions and or point you in the right direction. Any other final questions or comments? All right, it doesn't look like it. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and I want to thank everybody for attending this webinar. Again, it will be archived on our website shortly. Feel free to, again, contact us if you have any questions. Thank you very much, and have a great day.